question here is from Joel Pollock from Breitbart News. Has Israel's control of the Rafah crossing and the Philadelphia corridor had a significant effect on the progress of the war, and is Hamas running out of ammunition? Thank you for that question, Joel. The issue of the Philadelphia crossing is an extremely important, and if you allow me, Joel, it forms part of these negotiations which are happening right now. So to remind you that the framework agreed by Israel, which has been supported by President Biden, as always, our objective has been to enable the return of our hostages without obstructing the other goals of the war. Now, in these negotiations, I want to share with you what Israel's position is. We're insisting on the issues which we've already, the principles of which we've already agreed. Among them is the option to return to fighting until all of our goals of the war are met, the prevention of smuggling ammunition from Egypt into Gaza. That's an extremely important point, Joel, because it's the lifeline for Hamas. That's how they've been able to smuggle their deadly munitions into Israel, to allow them to carry out October the 7th, to allow them to fire the thousands of rockets which they have fired at Israel's population, both in the immediate area of Gaza, but also throughout this country. So that's a very, very important point. And the prevention of the return of thousands of armed terrorists to the north of Gaza. We want to maximize the number of living hostages that return from Hamas captivity. And look, again and again, Israel has made it clear that the war will end when our goals, the return of all the hostages, dismantling of Hamas's governmental and military capabilities, and the removing of the terrorist threat to Israel takes place. So this issue, Joel, I would point you particularly to the statement just released just a few minutes ago from the Prime Minister's office about his meeting this morning with Brett McGurk, President Biden's senior envoy to the Middle East. That issue was mentioned in that statement we just put out a couple of minutes ago, and I would refer you to that for more details. But of course, ending that smuggling route, ending that lifeline, deadly lifeline for Hamas on the Philadelphia crossing is absolutely key to prevent Hamas from being able to wage any sort of aggression on us ever again. We want Egypt to reopen the Philadelphia, the border with Gaza, and for further details, have a look at that statement which just came out. Next, from David Isaac, a follow-up from yesterday's question on the Al-Shifa doctor. Can we provide any more details? No, I haven't got any more details for you, David, on that particular incident. I would again refer you to the statement which the Prime Minister made last week regarding that incident. He was pretty clear about his views on that incident, and I would refer you back to that statement. I think it's quite comprehensive. Next, from Jim Williams at Zenka International News. If you could just scroll down so I could see the question. Was the PM aware that during the NATO 75th anniversary meetings in Washington, numerous world leaders expressed their support for Israel amid the conflict with Hamas? They demanded the immediate release of hostages, the utmost protection of civilians in both Gaza and Israel, and the acceptance of the proposed hostage ceasefire deal offered to Hamas. Thank you for that question, Jim. Yes, of course, we were very much aware of the meeting and also what was discussed at NATO. We've been obviously following that very, very closely. Israel is extremely close to NATO, and we do, of course, have seen the statements which will come out of that summit in Washington, D.C. Next question from Hannah Julian from the Jewish Press. Can you confirm or at least comment on a report that the Israeli government is going to use taxpayers' money to pay the legal defense fees for Hamas Nukba terrorists in Israeli custody? Thank you for that question, Hannah. I've got no comment to make on that. I don't know about the issue, and I can't confirm or deny any of those of that story. I haven't got any of that information in front of me. Next question from Louis Boudouin Larman from AFP. Could you confirm the IDF ordered the evacuation of Gaza City today? What will happen in Gaza City? Thank you very much for that question, Louis. I would point you to the IDF. They've been quite clear about their actions. We want to get civilians out of harm's way. We have no interest in harming civilians in Gaza City or anywhere else. We're trying to get to the terrorists, where the terrorists attack from or where they have set up base. As I mentioned to you earlier, 24 of their battalions, most of them have been smashed, but the pieces of those shattered battalions are popping up in different parts of Gaza, but we are going after them. It's our mission to destroy this organization, but we want to get civilians out of harm's way. That has been our practice since the beginning of this war. This has been a very, very difficult fighting environment, very, very complex, with a determined enemy that actually wants Gazans to die. They want ordinary Gazans to die. They think it feeds into their mission to get international opprobrium against Israel. Israel knows that, of course, and we're doing everything we can to limit damage to civilians, all the while Hamas are hiding amongst civilian areas, in schools, in hospitals, in the most appalling way. Hamas have done nothing in their almost 2 decades long fight against us in Gaza. They've done nothing for ordinary Gazans. They've sunk money into that huge terror tunnel network underground. They've sunk all that money, all that aid money down underground to fight us, but almost nothing to support their own people. Part of this war is liberating Gaza from Hamas to give a better future for ordinary Gazans. So, Louis, to be specific, please take a look at the IDF Twitter, where you will see those leaflets and those precise advice for Gazans to move out of harm's way, where precisely they can go to be safe, the safer zones, while we take out the last remnants of the terrorists within Gaza. Any other questions there? Any scroll down? Any other questions? No. Okay. So that was the last question that we've had. So in the meantime, thank you for joining us. Please do stay safe, and we look forward to another briefing tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.